Stop scrolling, because what I'm about to tell you is one of the most unbelievable real-life twists you'll ever hear in your entire life. A black college student misses her final exam to save a billionaire's wife, and by sunset a roaring helicopter lands in her backyard, shaking the world she thought she knew. If you love wild life-changing stories with massive plot twists, hit subscribe right now. Let's dive in. Amara Johnson had always believed that life rarely rewarded good people at the right time. Still, she worked hard, balancing 2 part-time jobs, volunteering at a local shelter, and maintaining her scholarship at Westbridge University, a place where most students either came from generational wealth or acted like they did, except for Amara, the quiet, brilliant black student who came from a modest home with a single mother who taught her that character mattered more than circumstances, even when circumstances crushed you. On the morning of her final business ethics exam, the one that determined whether she kept her scholarship, Amara woke up early, repeated her affirmations, and prepared herself to battle the pressure that had been building all semester. But fate had other plans. As she crossed the street near the university library, she noticed a frantic woman leaning against a sleek black SUV, trying desperately to steady herself. It was the kind of luxury vehicle Amara only saw in magazines and billionaire documentaries, but the woman leaning on it didn't look wealthy, she looked terrified. "Please, someone, help me," the woman gasped, clutching her stomach as if an invisible knife twisted inside her. Without thinking of the time, the exam, or the consequences, Amara rushed to her, holding her up as she collapsed halfway into Amara's arms. "Ambulance, call," the woman whispered. But there was no time. Traffic was gridlocked, horns blaring, commuters shouting. Amara realized the woman might not have minutes to spare. So she did the unthinkable. She flagged down the nearest passing car and begged the driver to help her get the woman to the hospital. They sped through red lights and backroads, reaching Westbridge Medical just as the woman slumped unconscious. Amara yelled for help, running beside the gurney as doctors rushed her into emergency care. Minutes felt like hours. She sat in the waiting room, anxiously tapping her foot, her phone buzzing repeatedly with notifications, missed calls from the professor, texts from classmates already seated for the exam, emails from the scholarship board warning that missing finals without documentation could end her academic year. By the time a doctor finally approached and said, "You saved her life," Amara knew she had also destroyed her own academic future. She didn't even know the woman's name, only that helping her was the right thing to do, even if it cost her everything. 2 days after the exam, Amara sat in her tiny bedroom, scrolling through her email with numb hands. As expected, her scholarship was revoked pending appeal, her professor refused to reschedule the exam, and her part-time job cut her hours because of her sudden unreliability. Tears collected but did not fall. She was too exhausted even to cry. Then there came a firm knock on the door. Her mother peeked in. "Baby, there's someone here for you." Standing on their worn-out welcome mat was a sharply dressed man in a gray suit, the kind only custom designers created, tall, poised, commanding, clearly someone accustomed to influence. "Miss Johnson," he asked smoothly, "my employer would like to speak with you." Amara blinked. "Your employer?" "Yes," he replied. "Evelyn Kingswell, the woman whose life you saved." That name struck like lightning. Kingswell, as in Kingswell Dynasty Holdings. As in one of the richest families in the entire country. As in rumored billionaires. Amara was ushered into a sleek limousine beside the suited man, who introduced himself as Richard. They drove past neighborhoods Amara only saw on TV, toward a mansion that looked like it was carved out of a dream or a billionaire's Pinterest board. Inside, the home exuded warmth, not the coldness she expected. Evelyn Kingswell herself sat on a velvet chaise, bandages peeking beneath her elegant robe, her face pale but glowing with gratitude. "You," Evelyn whispered, almost tearfully, "are the reason I'm alive." Amara blushed, shaking her head. "I just did what anyone would." "No," Evelyn interrupted. "Most people walked past me. You didn't." Then came the twist. Evelyn revealed she was the wife of Jonathan Kingswell, the notoriously private tech billionaire whose innovations practically shaped modern digital infrastructure. He entered the room moments later, imposing and analytical, studying Amara with piercing eyes. "My wife tells me you sacrificed an exam to get her to the hospital," he said. "And as a result, you may lose your scholarship." Amara nodded, trying not to shrink beneath his gaze. Jonathan continued, "Integrity like yours is rare. And extremely valuable." What followed felt surreal. Hours of conversation about her ambitions, her worldview, her dreams. Jonathan wasn't interviewing her. He was analyzing her moral code, as though searching for something specific. Then suddenly he said, "You deserve better opportunities." I want to sponsor your education fully, tuition, books, housing, everything. Amara almost fainted. Evelyn smiled. You saved me. Let us save you. But the bigger shock came when Jonathan added, actually, I have something more in mind. Amara didn't know it yet, but this billionaire couple was about to alter the path of her entire future. The next morning, Jonathan sent her home with a promise, expect my final decision soon. Amara assumed it would be a contract for a scholarship, or maybe an internship. She never expected what actually arrived. She was washing dishes when the ground began to vibrate. At first she thought it was an earthquake, then the windows rattled, her mother screamed her name, and a deafening roar filled the air. A helicopter hovered directly above their yard, blasting wind so powerfully that leaves spun like tornadoes around the house. Neighbors rushed out, phones raised, shouting in disbelief. The helicopter descended, emblazoned with the Kingswell family crest. When it landed, the door slid open. Jonathan Kingswell stepped out wearing sunglasses and command presence. Amara Johnson, he shouted over the blades. We need to talk. Her mother gasped. Baby, go. Amara approached, stunned, hair whipping wildly. Jonathan smiled. I've made my decision. Evelyn waved from the doorway of the helicopter. Come in. Amara climbed aboard, her heart pounding. Once inside, doors sealed, blades intensified, and the helicopter lifted into the sky. Jonathan turned to her. I'm offering you something bigger than a scholarship, he said. I want you to join a new program, a leadership initiative for young innovators with extraordinary moral courage. We fund them, mentor them, and eventually invest in companies they build. I want you to be one of the founding members. Amara sat frozen. Me. Jonathan nodded. Most people chase success. You chose compassion when nobody was watching. Those are the people who deserve power. Then Evelyn clasped Amara's hands. You helped me when I was alone and afraid. Now we want to help you become someone who changes the world. The helicopter soared toward the rising sun as Amara realized her entire destiny was transforming right beneath her feet. And for the first time in her life, she felt something powerful. Not fear, not doubt, but destiny calling her name. Dash dash dash.